Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This is April 27th, 2022, 2023. My gosh. Welcome to the Board of Directors meeting for Columbia 911 Communication District. I'm Henry Heimiller. I'm the Vice Chair. Our Chair, Bruce, had a family emergency today, and so I'll be running this meeting and the budget meeting thereafter. Who do we have on for board members?
Shelley and Jeff.
Shelley and Jeff. Okay. And do we know about Rob?
I dropped off his budget to him yesterday.
And I spoke to him within the last 30 minutes. He's coming on now.
Okay. All right. So we have a quorum of the board and got a number of visitors present. That's awesome. And so we'll go ahead into public comment, which will be 3 minutes. Anyone who'd like to speak to the board or address us on any subject, go ahead and put your hand up so that Nathan can recognize you and we'll get you on here. So now the time for public comment.
Tammy?
Last. Okay, Tammy? Are you?
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, name and city of residence for the record, please.
Okay, Tammy Magra, Deer Island, Oregon. My comment is I am really concerned with the 911 board not taking competitive bids on many of your actions. I think you're doing a greatly unjust service to the community, and I think you need to stop that and do competitive bids and save the taxpayers' money if you can. And also, I am not in support of your Motorola agreement that you want to go into Washington County. We found that agreement with PCC decades ago, and we paid in for years and got nothing. I do not think we need to lose local control over 911 like we did PCC, and I think I will not be voting for any of your measures if you continue to not do competitive bidding and continue to support the idea to join with Washington County. And did you get my letters, the board members?
I have not seen one,
Henry?
Tammy. I have not seen one, Tammy.
Okay, well, I emailed that out, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago to the email address there from 911 board. I sent it to you and to all the board members.
Okay, well, we'll
With
have the staff take a look for that because, as far as I know, no one's received that. Oh, Nathan has.
Okay.
Okay,
Do I need to resend it?
We'll let you know if you do. It may just be lost in our system.
All right. Well, I expect to hear from you, Henry.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Okay, is there further public comment?
Carol Sweet?
Okay, Carol Sweet, please. Name and city of residence for the record.
Carol Sweet, Scappoose.
Good afternoon.
I wanted to, can you hear me?
Yes.
While our meeting starts with that now, can you hear me now? I wanted to speak again on the 911 Motorola decision. I would like to suggest, and I know Henry will remember these days when we would sit down with a group and talk about things with the citizens and the board members, not on this board in particular, but on the county commission, city council, all of it. And I would like to suggest that we hold a meeting, that you hold a meeting, and invite the public to come in and give comments, because none of us really understand about this Motorola thing. And the other part is, if something goes wrong, God forbid, you are dealing with one of the most important features of our community. And so if it goes south and someone can't get police information, response is messed up because of the system, whatever it is, somebody is sent to a place in Washington County as opposed to Columbia County, and somebody dies, who's holding the responsibility? And so I would suggest, one, that we have a meeting and we all talk this out so that we can understand it. I mean, maybe there's, I won't say hidden, but there's things that we don't understand about this that makes it so compelling that we can't go through what is the normal protocol for anything in this county. And then secondly, if you still decide to not pay attention to us and to do what you want, what you decided to do, I would think that the board members who individually voted for this should sign a public document saying we are the 5 people who made this decision over whatever the standard protocol is, so that you can be held accountable if something does happen. Because, you know, this is a world of lawyers, and people might look for a responsibility. And so if you deliberately pick the wrong one without any research or any whatever, then I think that those people should then have to pay. So, thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Nathan,
Anybody else have
Others?
any public comment?
further public comment? I saw a hand still up there. I wasn't sure if that was someone.
I show Alex.
What do you say, Nathan? Has Alex got a hand up or want to?
No, all hands are lowered right now.
Okay. Any further public comment? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move on into our agenda. Is there any additions to the agenda today?
Not from staff.
Okay. Any board members that want to add anything to the agenda? I'll take silence and static as a no. Moving on to the approval of the March 23rd, 2023 regular minutes, and that was in our board packet. Entertain a motion of approval, board.
I'll second that.
Shelley, let's go ahead and have you make the motion.
Oh, I'll make a motion that we accept them.
Okay, and is there a second?
Jeff, will second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the March 23rd, 2023 regular meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye. And opposed, same sign, motion carries. Now it's time for the financial reports. Those also are included in your board packets. We have the budget variance report to address first. I'd entertain a motion to approve unless there's discussion for Mary Jo. I've given her a promotion.
Yes, I know.
She's on a promotion today.
She likes it. I appreciate that.
Is there a motion to approve the budget variance report?
Move to approve the budget variance report as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded to approve the budget variance report as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
And aye, motion carries. Now's the time for the expenditures, also included in your packet. This is the point in time when I miss Dee Woolley because he'd be prepared to with a couple of bullet points in here. But anyway, we'll need to approve those. So I entertain a motion of approval for the expenditure list as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll go ahead and move to approve the expenditures, starting with check number 31318 through 31381, including electronics payments and transfers for a total of $440,729.54.
Thank you, Rob. Is there a second?
Jeff, I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the expenditure report from check number 31318 to check number 31381 and the electronic state payments as described on there. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Operations Manager's report.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a hiring update. We actually had entry-level positions open and receiving applications that close tomorrow, and we've gotten quite a few applications so far. As of the posting of this update that's in the packet, the lateral applicant will not be continuing in the application process. However, we're optimistic about the applications that we've received. We did have one staffing change that was since this update as well. One of our 5-year employee, Matt, has given his resignation and is going to be pursuing a new career. So we really appreciate his years of service, and we wish him the very, very best. He's a great employee, and we will miss him.
When's he going to be leaving?
May 9th.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I'll jump in there for just a bit. Matthew was very upfront, very transparent when he first applied here that his desire, his goal in life was to be a professional firefighter. And we have worked with him this entire time. He has been an A+ employee, just very transparent, totally engaged with us, and we really appreciate, and we will miss him, but wish the very best for him.
Well, the cool thing about that is his experience here will help him in his field. I mean, I dispatched for a short time at the very beginning of my career. That's when you had to get calls by horse and carriage and stuff. But nonetheless, the experience at 911 and that first contact with people is something that I carried on throughout my whole career and saw that important link. So, man, that's going to make him a better firefighter, paramedic, whatever he chooses to do. So,
Absolutely believe that.
good luck in your new career, Matt.
Absolutely. And then as far as our trainees, Jennifer and Rich are continuing very well, and they've gone into skill building and are moving to the next stages. And Rich is going to be attending the DPSST Academy in June. We're right in between our 2 sessions of the all-staff spring training, and that is going well. Tomorrow is our last day of that. And we had National Telecommunications Week, and our dispatchers were recognized by a lot of our local agencies. A lot of love and support was shown, and they really appreciated it. Does anyone have any questions?
Questions for Danelle? Hearing none. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay, technical manager report. Nathan.
I just got back from ICC, the International CAD Consortium. There's a lot of different agencies and 911 centers from across the United States that come together to talk about how they operate, the struggles they have, and what works well for them. And it was very insightful hearing that a lot of agencies across the United States are struggling with the same issues that we struggle with, if not more. And we also met with software and hardware vendors to learn more about the future of 911 dispatching and other law enforcement technologies. Some of the topics included CAD software, FDC, GIS, AVL, telephone, radio, station learning, among other things. For our facility, we just installed a new ductless AC system into our MIC room to help with the humidity of all the files in there, and for the possibility of expanding our server room into there somewhat. A leak was discovered on the dispatch skylights, so we've been working with a contractor to get the skylights replaced up there. They should be here tomorrow, so hopefully tomorrow or the next week we'll get them installed. And then we're getting quotes right now to assess the water damage to the exterior of our facility. And we're hoping to get those to the board next month, depending on the cost.
Is that the siding itself, Nathan?
Yeah, so a lot of it's starting to rot. You can pick it off with your finger.
Well, this being a modular building, that was one of the things that when we first bought this place, one of the things I asked about was that siding, and they said something about it probably would have a life expectancy of 20 to 25 years or something like that. Sticks in my mind. And of course we've kept the building painted and looking appropriate and all that kind of stuff, but it's probably, if, you know, based on that, it's probably getting close to where life expectancy would be. Now, are they suggesting that we reside the whole building, or are they just talking about replacing panels, or?
No, so I can't think of what that material that's the primary side of the building, but all the wood trim is starting to rot. So getting rid of all that wood trim and replacing it with something more durable. And because a lot of the wood underneath our gutters is rotting, we're looking at possibly replacing our gutters too, because we have a lot of issues with them getting clogged. So installing something that won't clog up, that we won't have to worry about.
So it's going to end up being more, your opinion, of a repair versus a reside.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's still not going to be cheap to do the whole building.
No, I'm sure.
And then we are working, designing different AV systems for the MIG room. So hopefully we can get some TVs up in this room, put a camera that's HD to fully speaker track, putting microphones in the ceiling so we get better audio quality for recording, and then having it as a single pane of glass so people can come in here and hold meetings, like the fire department can hold their board meetings in here if they wanted to, and they just have to go to the touch screen, put in their meeting ID, and then they're connected. So hopefully upgrade all the technology in here, the very little that we do have.
Thank you, Nathan. Questions for Nathan? Okay, well, thank you. Appreciate that. Look forward to hearing what the outcome of your repair thing is next month. Okay, looks like old business. Mike, you going to take that?
I am. Just a moment here. So, old business. First up is the radio system. Clatskanie, there's nothing new to report there. Corey Hill, nothing new to report there. Bald Hill. The tower equipment adjustment and realignment. All the equipment was received and the civil work commenced on the dispatch tower. The new equipment did make slight improvements, but not to the extent that we had hoped for. Additional work is being conducted to determine the next appropriate steps to further improve the system performance. That work is a combination of Day Wireless, M&I, our microwave provider, as well as Scappoose Fire is assisting us with drones, running drone paths based on our microwave pathways. So I'll keep you posted on that as we move forward. Meisner site, the last month I reported that construction had paused due to weather. That has, the civil construction has commenced and making very good progress. Again, we're expecting hopefully to have a completion by the end of this fiscal year, potentially June. So that's going well. Haven Acres, there's no update there. The microwave repair and replacement, we continue to receive equipment from M&I. In fact, we have here multiple spools, I think 6 or 7 spools of waveguide are delivered in our parking lot. Just reading my notes here. We're waiting on confirmation and delivery dates of the following, or the remainder of the equipment. M&I is submitting a plan to both us and Day Wireless and the tower crews. We're coordinating schedules for the actual construction, which we believe will start sometime in May. Next Gen Radio project. In your, well, actually within the last hour, you received the final version of the Federal Engineering Phase 2 Statement of Work. This has been a project of myself, Federal Engineering, their admin, their legal counsel, and our legal counsel. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Peterkin, who's joining us remotely.
Is this something we need to do
This is
now,
an
an
action.
update, or are we going to do that in new business?
So I went back and forth on that because it's technically old business.
Okay.
So It is
Happy
our
to
dis-
do it wherever you want to
Yeah.
do it, but
I was hoping to have the board take action at this point, but I was going to turn it over to Michael if he has anything he'd like to share with the board.
Good afternoon, members of the board,
hello.
and good afternoon, any of the public members that are in attendance. If you remember, the board contracted with Federal Engineering to assess its existing land mobile radio system and analyze for replacement or upgrade alternatives. Federal Engineering did complete that and provided recommendations for upgrading or replacing the existing system. And the board received a radio system alternatives analysis and recommendations report back in August of 2021. And the board reviewed that and considered that. And after the report, Federal Engineering did make a presentation to the board in September of 2021. Now, following that, the Board of Directors resolved to explore what's been termed the Motorola alternative. And that was in conjunction with a feasibility investigation of joining Washington County Network, which we all know is an existing regional radio system that utilizes Motorola equipment. Now, move forward on phase 2 of the investigation. The district requested Federal Engineering submit this statement of work that you have now before you. And this, what we're asking is for Federal Engineering to take the next step to see what it would look like if the district decided to contract with Motorola, and the alternative to join or not to join Washington County Network. So what you have is a statement of work for basically land mobile radio support services. And depending on what the board decides, some, but not all of the work of Federal Engineering can be used as a basis to prepare a future request for proposal or request for quotes, or to be utilized in another procurement method if the board chooses not to proceed with the Motorola alternative. So this work by Federal Engineering doesn't commit the district to any one proposal, and the board again has not made a commitment, contrary to some individuals, to jettison competitive bidding. All the board is doing is proceeding with the necessary investigation to explore the alternatives available, and the goal remains that the district could save, by some estimates, $6 million and achieve a better system, a more reliable system with greater coverage. That's the goal. So the Federal Engineering group, which by the way are not engineers, but they're technical representatives, and they provide us with their experience in doing this radio work all over the country. They have a number of current jobs with other districts in Oregon. So on page 2 of the SOW, you will look at the specification development, the functional specifications that they are going to develop is listed, and these are the things that we need the experts to put together, system functionality and operational requirements, potential sites, coverage requirements, system reliability and redundancy, deliverables, regulatory and standards compliance, environmental, seismic, and other site requirements, network management, training, warranty. All of these are integral in having the district being able to evaluate properly how to proceed to have the best reliable system with the best coverage and for the absolute best price. You'll see on page 3 it talks about procurement support, and again that's helping the board evaluate the Motorola alternative. That evaluation continues, and we're going to gather the required information for the board to be fully informed. And as the board heard at the January meeting, the recommendation and how this is going to proceed, certainly with my recommendation, is that once Federal Engineering has the information, and once we have the Motorola bid, and once we have the information from WCN, and we have all the information, then that will be available, and there's going to be a public meeting, and before that public meeting there will be a comment period, and then the citizens will be fully informed. The board can make an informed decision of how to proceed. I will note that the Federal Engineering personnel, as part of this contract, will be on site and to give assistance to the project team and to help with any questions, concerns, and that they will ultimately generate a value-added and benefit analysis of joining WCN. Ultimately, if the board decides to pursue the Motorola option, the remaining hurdle is, can we negotiate a contract that makes sense for the district, that the board is comfortable accepting? That remains to be seen. And so, again, I want to stress that this statement of work is a second step in the process of putting together the requisite information for the board to properly weigh, to make decisions as it goes forward with getting a new mobile radio system in place. So the form of the document was a hard-fought process, was a bit, pushed back and forth, And certainly as to the form, I recommend the board proceed, but ultimately it's the board's decision whether or not it's going to take the next step to pursue the Motorola option consistent with the board's resolution in January of this year. With that, I've concluded my initial remarks, and I will be available to answer any questions about this SOW or how the board is going to proceed with getting a new land mobile radio system.
Thank you for that. Mike, did you want anything to fill in on that?
No, sir.
Okay, let me open it up to the board members. You guys have questions? Jeff, Shelley, Rob? Comments?
Just want to add to clarify, this is going to address part of what we're looking at is to see how well this, excuse me there, dovetails into some of our other projects, such as the backup center and others, and to see how well that would align to be a future savings on the combined long-range planned projects.
So to answer that, it's a two-part answer. So the statement of work is federal engineering is providing requirements and specifications to, in this case, Motorola. We're working with the work group made up of myself and select representatives of the fire, police, and medical users to develop those requirement standards. They will present that to Motorola. It'll be incumbent upon Motorola to respond. Federal engineering will do an analysis of the pros and cons and whether they're meeting the standards of this district and its users. The second part of that question, Rob, is a backup center or other potential points that we could leverage by if we go with the Motorola system. What does that afford us by joining the WCN system? That is a second deliverable, and that's a combination of myself, again, working with federal engineering to gather those added value components and systems that we could leverage if we were to choose to go with Motorola and if we choose to join the WCN. So long way to say yes.
No, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So we'll get a good radio assessment report, and then from there it could move on to including the others.
Correct. And as Michael said, all of this work can be utilized if the board rejects the option of purchasing that surplus C800 equipment. If you choose not to go with the Motorola solution, all of this work is not wasted. It's all transferable to an RFQ, an RFP, an ITB, whatever vehicle the board wants to pursue. And that we would open up to the entire LMR industry.
So, Mike, just to further amplify that point, just a reminder that there is available Motorola equipment from C800 at 2017 prices with a 40% discount. One of the things that we're doing is determining the value of that, or at least federal engineering, and how that equipment is going to be integrated, and the warranty that will come with it, the software compatibility, and so if this all comes together the way people envision, and that's not me, that's the experts, there could be, as I mentioned earlier, a $6 million savings. And that would be fantastic for this district and for this county. So this is still an exploratory stage. There's lots of information to discover and for the board to ultimately weigh, but this SOW is the next step in that process. Okay?
Did that get your question answered, Rob?
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. We will first get a good report back on just the system and performance of itself and potential cost savings versus the influence of the combined project side if we decide to go that route. So, yes.
Thank you. Jeff or Shelley?
Hey, yeah, this is Jeff. I just more of a comment than a question, but I just kind of wanted to remind those listening and clarify that we do have an advisory committee made up of numerous fire and police individuals, and the direction we're going with this statement of work and this, what we're looking at here is what the advisory committee recommended. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and Jeff, I would further add on that note that we hope that if federal engineering is done with this phase 2 and we fully flesh out the proposal and we present it to the advisory committee, that we will have 100% buy-in. That's our goal. So, more to see on that front.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Shelley, did you have anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to add and thank everyone for kind of putting some things out there that haven't been out there to explain to the public more where we're coming from, and that we're working really hard to do what's right for everybody. And some of the things that were said today, I think, are a good explanation for that. So thank you.
Thank you, Shelley. I think it is important to note that we've been planning for a radio replacement for years now, because we know that they go out of date and get a little haggard, and ours is there. But it's also important to note that we are not all in the know. There's so many options out there. We have to turn over every rock in order to figure out what the best way to go is. And even though this statement of work at $111,000 some dollars has the word Motorola Alternative scattered throughout it, it heads us in a direction of checking that out. But if that falls flat on its face and that ends up not being the alternative, this is going to give us a great portfolio to build our RFP or RFQ or whatever we're going to do. So it's just another step in that exploratory phase to get us to the right decision, rather than just going out, throwing an RFP out there and letting the industry and the low bid guide us to where we end up, because oftentimes that's not the best place. So Mike, with that, do you want to have us take action on this proposal now, or do you want that actually under new business?
I think it's appropriate in either categories, new or old. We've been talking about this phase 1 and phase 2 in old business. So,
well, let's go ahead and take action on it now, and then we can remove that from new business. Board, is there a motion there to approve this statement of work for federal engineering as presented?
I'll move.
Was that Rob?
yes.
Okay, Rob has moved to approve the statement of work as presented. Is there a second?
Yeah, Jeff, I'll second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded to approve the statement of work, which was issued today, final draft today, April 27th, 2023, between Columbia 911 Communications District and Federal Engineering Incorporated. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
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 I may have doubled with somebody else. I was an aye.
Yeah, I kind of, a couple of clicks there. Is there any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Henry, could I make one suggestion? Since you're the chair today and our president is missing, if there's any question about your ability to sign, then I would ask that the board pass the second resolution authorizing you to sign in the absence of Bruce.
I don't believe that's an issue, is it, Mike?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but good point. Thanks, Jeff.
All right.
Okay, so next is our CFO recruitment.
Just a moment.
We're having some technical difficulties, so the video has been stopped while we're rebooting the system, but the phone line still appears to be up.
Okay, Rob, Shelley, Jeff, can you still hear us here in the room?
Yep, I can.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay.
Affirmative.
Okay, well, we're trying to get the video back. It just went down.
It'll be a minute.
It'll be a minute. Okay, we'll go ahead and proceed by phone. Was the audience still able to hear us? Anybody out? Everybody's all good? Everything's okay. All right, well, we'll proceed by phone here until we get our video back up. Mike?
Hey, Henry,
Yeah.
can I finish something under the old business?
Yeah, we're still under old business, but go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to go real quick back to the Bald Hill on the radio report.
Oh, okay.
Just because last week did note some changes in the radio reception, I was just wanted to find out, are they working on and seeing how well Bald Hill currently might be functioning? And if that could have been part of it, or was it just the seasonal propagation changes with the weather?
Well, I was absent last week. I was back east with Nathan at the ICC conference. I will check with Day Wireless. My understanding is that it was off, but it could have been left on because there were some improvements following the civil work. So, but I will follow up with that.
Copy. You guys noticed there was definitely some decreased intermod and increased reception from handhelds.
I'll take it.
So overall, was it at least somewhat noticeable improvement? Is that what you're saying, Rob? Rob, you still there?
There we go. I could say yes, as far as like monitoring TAC 3, there seemed to be an improvement last week. But like I said, didn't know if that was just atmospheric conditions or if they were actually doing something with the site. If they were doing stuff with the site, yes, it was an improvement.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go on to CFO recruitment. Mike.
So a few weeks ago, a panel was formed for interview of a CFO applicant. Rob and Henry, representing the board as the personnel committee, was part of that panel. It was a very successful interview process. The panel unanimously suggested we move forward with a conditional offer that was made. It was accepted. Since that point, the applicant has been going through the final background investigations. There is a final step taking place tomorrow. We expect to be successful, and so, knocking on wood, we believe we'll have a new CFO here as of May 15th.
And would you mind telling the audience what a CFO is, just in case?
Thank you. Chief Financial Officer. And Columbia 911 is not unusual. Our CFO wears multiple hats. They are the Chief Financial Officer of the agency. They are also the HR manager, managing all the paperwork and benefits, as well as managing staff members here under their wheelhouse. So, yeah, very excited. The applicant is very excited.
Well, and I've been looking for places for her to live.
Well, I spoke to her yesterday, and we were going to have a conversation about potential assistance, but this applicant has bought a house
Oh, awesome. Wow.
here in St. Helens.
Oh,
so
my gosh, wow.
very
She
happy.
didn't think she was going to
have a problem.
find something that quickly.
Yep.
Yeah, amazing.
Very exciting.
Okay, good news. HVAC upgrade.
So I think Nathan actually covered this. This is for the records room as part of the MIC that is now complete. At the writing of this, I wasn't too sure when it was going to be done, but that's done. And then I'm going to turn back to Nathan and Merckx about exterior lighting, because we did approve that, signed it off, but I don't know the schedule because I've been missing.
So we're actually going to have the contractors out on Monday. Should be starting work for all the external lighting upgrades. Not sure entirely how long it's going to take for them to get that stuff installed, but work's starting in just a couple days.
Is it all just stuff attached to the building, or is it pole lights too, or?
So there's a little bit of troubleshooting for, we have one pole light that isn't working like it's supposed to, but most of the project is attached to the building directly.
We also explored possibly putting pole lights in the back, but the contractor assured us that we're going to be lit up at night. So,
Well, if it's all new LED high technology stuff, you know, that stuff does a great job. So.
yeah.
Agreed.
Excellent.
Hey, Henry?
Go ahead, Rob.
I just wanted to point out that I know there's a fan, but there was some substantial background noise with both Mert and Nathan's when they're talking there, whatever mic they're using. It was kind of hard to make out their audio.
Okay, all right. We'll move that mic and see if it's any better. Do you need him to repeat that discussion about the lights?
I was able to make it out, but I just, for others, wanted to make it aware to you that there was some unclear audio.
Okay, we moved some stuff around there just now and see if that's any better. Okay, thanks you guys. Or other questions from the board members on that lighting project? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. We'll. Is there anything under new business that, or I should say anything further under old business?
We're done with old business and we're done with new business.
Okay, well, we'll take it. Let's go. Well, let's see here. We'll go director's updates.
And I have nothing else to report.
All right, and we don't have an executive session scheduled. It doesn't appear.
Correct.
Okay, agenda items for May 25th. Now, May 25th is getting awful close to Memorial Day. I just want to maybe give you a heads up that I'm not going to be here because I may be somewhere else. Yeah, I'm not going to be here that day for sure.
Okay.
Other members, you guys have any scheduling conflicts with May 25th? Hearing none. Any other agenda items we might want to make sure that's on the docket for May 25th?
That will be the date of our second budget hearing.
Okay. So, hearing nothing else, we'll go ahead to any other business or member comments. We'll start with Shelley.
I was trying to unmute to tell you that the 25th is okay with me, but other than that, I don't have anything more to say.
All right, Shelley, thank you. Jeff?
No, just thank everybody for their time, and glad to see that we're moving forward with this radio project, and I am good on the 25th as well.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Rob?
No, May 25th is good for me, although that is the morning I get off, so hopefully something not first thing in the morning would be best in case I do have a late call. No, good meeting, and I also can take some moment here to make comment. to take note of public testimony, and I'm hoping those that are present here have heard the action taken is just for us to get more information and information only, which is the same direction we were given from the advisory board. So hopefully soon we will have, this will help plug the hole with information that everyone else has been requesting.
Good point, Rob. Thank you. And I'd just like to, I know that we've had with Nancy's retirement, we've had people scrambling and maybe wearing additional hats and things like that in the preparation of our budget document and getting ready for today's budget, our first budget hearing. So thank you all. I know that we've been working to fill Nancy's very large shoes, and I think we're in the final step of that, thank goodness. But nonetheless, budget season happens, and we got to produce the document, the award-winning document that we're all used to seeing. And so I know Nancy was a big part of that behind the scenes and working, but Mary Jo, I'm sure that you had to pick up a whole bunch of slack. So thank you all, and thanks to staff. And it seems like you just get one step forward and we lose a little ground, but hopefully we'll get all those things filled up here before long. So, Mike, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, with that, thanks everybody for your participation. We appreciate that, and we'll go ahead and adjourn.